Imagine this, you lose your job, your friends drift away, your health takes a turn for the worse. In moments like these, most people collapse into despair, resentment, or endless what ifs. But there's another way to live, a way so radical, so counterintuitive that it flips suffering into strength. It's not about escaping pain, it's not about controlling the future, it's about something far more powerful, loving your fate. This is the ancient Stoic principle of Amor Fati, love of fate. Not just acceptance, not just endurance, but a complete, enthusiastic embrace of life, exactly as it is. Stay with me, because if you grasp this concept, and more importantly, if you live it, it could transform every single challenge in your life into fuel for growth. 1. What is Amor Fati? At its core, Amor Fati means exactly this. Instead of wishing for reality to be different, you love it exactly as it unfolds. Picture it. It rains on your wedding day. Most would call that unlucky. Amor Fati would tell you, don't just tolerate it, dance in the rain. Smile at the sky. Embrace it as part of your unique story. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, don't hope events will turn out the way you want. Welcome them in whichever way they happen. That's the heart of Stoicism. Control your attitude, not the world. But Amor Fati goes further. It doesn't stop at accept what you cannot change. It tells you, love it. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, wrote, accept the things to which fate binds you. Love the people fate brings into your life, but do so with all your heart. This is not resignation. It's not passive. It's active love for the raw, messy, unpredictable flow of life. Think of it this way. If life is a novel, Amor Fati asks you not to skip chapters, not to wish for edits, but to cherish every page, because without them, the story is incomplete. 2. The cost of resisting reality. Here's the problem. Most of us do the opposite of Amor Fati. We resist reality. We curse traffic jams. We rage against illnesses. We lament heartbreaks. Our minds scream, this shouldn't be happening. But what does resistance achieve? Nothing. The traffic won't move faster because you're angry. The illness won't heal quicker because you think it's unfair. All resistance does is double your suffering. Pain is natural. Resistance is optional. Think about it. When a storm comes, you can stand outside screaming at the clouds, or you can take shelter and learn to live with the rain. The storm doesn't care about your feelings. This is why Amor Fati is so liberating. When you stop wasting energy on what should be, you free yourself to deal with what is. As the Stoics saw it, life is not out to punish you. Life is simply life. Fate is not your enemy, it is your teacher, turning obstacles into opportunities. Now here's where it gets interesting. Amor Fati doesn't just soften the blow of hardship and transforms hardship into advantage. Think of your muscles. They only grow when stressed, torn, and rebuilt. Without resistance, no strength. Life works the same way. Every obstacle you face is a form of training. Every challenge is a weight placed in your hands. A failed business venture? That's an MBA life gave you for free. A heartbreak? That's resilience training for your soul. An illness? That's a crash course in gratitude for small joys. Amor Fati reframes the question. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? You ask, how can this serve me? Even Nietzsche, centuries after the Stoics, loved this idea. He said, my formula for greatness in a human being is Amor Fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not in the past, not in the future, not for all eternity. Imagine if you could look at every event, even your greatest mistakes, and say, yes, this too belongs. I wouldn't erase it. That's freedom. That's power. 4. The power of the present moment. Amor Fati also pulls us back to the only time that really exists, now. How much of life do we waste postponing happiness? I'll be happy when I graduate, when I find the right partner, when I get rich, when I retire. But what if you never get those things? Do you postpone joy forever? Marcus Aurelius warned us, do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. Amor Fati says, love the present. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. It's about seeing value even in the ordinary. Waiting in line at the grocery store, that's not wasted time. It's a moment to breathe, to observe, to be alive. Stuck in traffic, that's a classroom in patience. A chance to practice serenity. By embracing every moment, you don't just survive life, you actually live it. 5. Amor Fati in relationships. Now let's talk about the hardest battlefield for Amor Fati. Relationships. People will disappoint you. They'll betray you. They'll hurt you. The usual reaction is bitterness. If only they were different, I'd be happy. But Amor Fati challenges us. What if the people in your life, the difficult ones, the loving ones, the fleeting ones, are exactly who you need? That rude coworker, they teach you patience. That heartbreak, it teaches you independence. That loyal friend, they teach you gratitude. This doesn't mean accepting abuse or staying in toxic situations. Amor Fati doesn't ask you to love pain for its own sake. It asks you to see the lesson within it. When we view people not as obstacles, but as teachers, we stop fighting them. We learn, we forgive, we grow. And strangely, this makes us more compassionate. Because once you see that everyone is acting within their own fate, their own struggles, you begin to soften. You begin to understand. 6. Amor Fati at work. Work is another place where frustration thrives. Missed promotions, unfair bosses, endless deadlines. Most people see these as pure negatives. But Amor Fati asks, what if each one is a stepping stone? Did you fail a project? Maybe it taught you more than success ever could. Did you lose a client? Maybe it redirected you to a better opportunity. Did you hit a career plateau? Maybe it forced you to redefine what success means. When we embrace fate at work, we stop seeing setbacks as punishments. We start seeing them as training. Teams that practice this mindset become unstoppable. Instead of blaming each other when things go wrong, they ask, how do we grow from this? This transforms a workplace from a battlefield of egos into a workshop of resilience. 7. Amor Fati and health. Few things test our love of fate like illness. When our bodies betray us, the natural response is anger. Why me? Why now? But Amor Fati invites a different perspective. Instead of seeing illness as punishment, we can see it as part of the human experience, an invitation to slow down, to reflect, to practice patience. Marcus Aurelius himself suffered chronic pain throughout his life, and yet his meditations are full of reminders not to resent the body's weaknesses, but to accept them as natural. He wrote, "Does what happened keep you from acting with justice, generosity, self-control, sanity, prudence, honesty, humility, straightforwardness, and all the other qualities that allow a person's nature to fulfill itself?" In other words, your body may falter, but your character can still flourish. Think about this in modern terms. A broken leg might confine you to bed, but it can also push you into books you'd never read otherwise. A chronic condition might limit your energy, but it can deepen your empathy for others. I once met a man who survived a stroke that left him partially paralyzed. Instead of spiraling into bitterness, he told me, "My body slowed down, but my soul sped up." He discovered painting during recovery, and now he produces art that inspires thousands. Amor Fati doesn't sugarcoat suffering, it doesn't deny pain, but it says, within every health challenge lies an opportunity to cultivate wisdom, gratitude, and creativity. 8. The spiritual depth of Amor Fati. Beyond daily struggles, Amor Fati touches something deeper, our relationship with the universe itself. To love fate is to trust that existence is not a random accident, but a meaningful flow. Whether you see that through the lens of God, nature, or cosmic order, Amor Fati is about aligning with it. For the Stoics, this was called the logos, the rational structure of the universe. For others, it may be divine providence. For modern thinkers, it could be seen as the interconnected web of cause and effect. The essence is the same. You are not an outsider in this universe. You are a participant. What happens to you is not separate from nature, it is nature. This perspective brings humility. Instead of demanding that the universe bend to your will, you bend with it. Like a tree swaying with the wind, you find strength not by resisting, but by yielding. Nietzsche saw this as the ultimate affirmation of life. Not just tolerating existence, but shouting yes to every detail, even the painful ones. Imagine being able to look at your entire life, every mistake, every heartbreak, every triumph, and say, I would live it all again, exactly the same way. That is Amor Fati at its spiritual peak. Dealing with uncertainty and change. Let's be honest, much of our anxiety comes from uncertainty. We don't know what tomorrow holds. Will we succeed or fail? Will we be loved or rejected? Will we thrive or struggle? But here's the truth. Life has always been uncertain. Control is an illusion. The Stoics knew this well. Epictetus said, when you are about to undertake some action, remind yourself of what kind of action it is. In other words, prepare for reality to be messy. Amor Fati arms us against uncertainty by flipping it upside down. Instead of fearing change, we embrace it. Instead of resisting surprises, we welcome them. Think of life like a river. You can't freeze it, you can't dictate its direction, but you can learn to swim with its current, to ride its waves, to let it carry you where you need to go. I often remind myself of this when facing the unknown. Instead of clinging to rigid plans, I tell myself, whatever happens, I will make it part of my path. That mindset transforms uncertainty from a source of stress into a source of adventure. Select 10, daily practices to build Amor Fati. So how do we actually practice Amor Fati in everyday life? Here are some simple but powerful techniques. Morning intention. Start your day by saying, today I welcome whatever comes. The good, the bad, the unexpected. I choose to love it all. This sets your mind for resilience. Reframing journal. Each evening, write down one challenge you faced. Then ask, how could this serve me? What might I learn from it? Over time, this rewires your brain to see obstacles as opportunities. Mindful acceptance. When something irritating happens, a delay, a rude comment, a broken appliance, pause. Breathe. Say inwardly, yes, this too. That small practice slowly builds acceptance into love. Gratitude in difficulty. Whenever hardship strikes, list 3 things you're grateful for in that moment. This trains you to see blessings even in dark times. Visualization of fate. Imagine your life as a film. Every scene, joyful or painful, is necessary for the plot. Would you want to skip any scenes? No, because the story would collapse. This exercise reminds you to honor the whole. Amor Fati is not mastered in a day. It's cultivated through small, repeated acts of acceptance until it becomes second nature. When Amor Fati feels impossible, let's be real. Some tragedies feel unbearable: the loss of a loved one, the collapse of a lifelong dream, the cruelty of injustice. In those moments, Amor Fati may feel impossible. And that's okay. The Stoics never said we should be emotionless robots. Grief, anger, sadness, these are natural human responses. Amor Fati doesn't erase them. It simply guides us not to stay trapped in them. Marcus Aurelius himself wept at the deaths of his children. Yet he reminded himself that loss is part of nature's cycle. Epictetus, born a slave, did not deny suffering, but he insisted that freedom lies in how we respond to it. So if you're in a season of pain, don't force yourself to instantly love it. Instead, start small. First, accept it. Then gradually, as time allows, search for meaning in it. Amor Fati is a journey, not a switch you flip overnight. The freedom of loving fate. Here's the paradox. When you finally stop fighting fate, you gain freedom. Think of all the energy wasted in resentment, in wishing for life to be different. Once you let that go, all that energy is freed up for creation, for love, for action. This is why Amor Fati is not weakness, it's power. It doesn't chain you to passivity. It unlocks your ability to act with clarity, unburdened by bitterness. Seneca said, "A good character once established is not easily overthrown, and the mind once armed with reasons for happiness resists every weapon of misfortune." In other words, when you love your fate, you become untouchable. Life can strike you, but it cannot break you. Conclusion, a call to action. So here's the challenge. Starting today, try Amor Fati. The next time something small annoys you, your coffee spills, the internet goes down, don't curse it, smile at it. Welcome it as training. The next time something big shakes you, a rejection, a loss, a failure, don't just survive it. Ask, what can this teach me? How can this shape me? And above all, remember this: Amor Fati is not about perfection. It's about orientation. Each time you turn toward acceptance, each time you embrace reality rather than resist it, you grow stronger, freer, and more alive. Life will never be free of pain, but with Amor Fati, every pain can have purpose. Every storm can be a teacher. Every fate can be loved. So the next time life hands you something unexpected, don't say, why me? Say yes, this too. Because that's where true power lies, not in controlling fate, but in loving it.